All right. Today's presentations will provide an overview of the Technical Review Committee process, a review of the required forms and training, and a walkthrough of the system we use to collect and review proposals called Amplifund. We will follow up with an email that will include the following items: a copy of the Conflict of Interest form, a copy of the 2023 Request for Concept proposals, and copies of the PowerPoint presentations included in today's webinar. In addition, we will provide more information about the Technical Review Committee resource portal in the second presentation. We would like to begin by thanking all of you for volunteering your time to our program. We would especially like to extend a warm welcome to those of you participating for the first time this year. We know we have a lot to get done in the next several months, and we want you to know how much we appreciate your contributions to making this program a success. As we begin, note that we will be happy to answer your questions. Please send your questions through the Zoom chat at any time, and we will answer them at the end of each presentation. You can also wait to ask your questions at the end of each webinar. The purpose of the Specialty Crop Block Grant Program, or Scpgp, is to award funds for projects that enhance the competitiveness of California specialty crops. To accomplish this, the California Department of Food and Agriculture, or CDFA, conducts an annual competitive solicitation. Proposals submitted to the program undergo 2 levels of review. CDFA conducts an administrative review to ensure that all proposals submitted meet certain eligibility and administrative requirements. We rely on you, the Technical Review Committee, or TRC, to ensure that the content of each proposal pertains to issues that are relevant and timely to the specialty crop industry, and that the objectives of proposals can be met and will result in a successful project. For those of you who have participated as a technical reviewer in previous years, we would like to highlight a few changes to the program for 2023. If you are new this year, please note that these are some of the ways the funding areas and categories have been changed or clarified to reflect current issues. The grant duration is now 2 years and 8 months, November 1st, 2023 to June 30th, 2026. Please note that no cost extensions after June 30th, 2026 will no longer be available. Grant amounts for the Additional Assistance Program are now $100,000 minimum to $250,000 maximum. And there have been some minor changes to the allowable and unallowable costs and activities table. Also, new states were included in Travel Ban AB 1887. Finally, Executive Order N-622 holds that by submitting a proposal or application, the applicant represents that it is not a target of economic sanctions, nor is it conducting prohibited transactions with sanctioned individuals or entities. There have been some updates to the program priorities. In the marketing category, language was reworded to make the focus more on the outcomes of marketability, awareness, and increase sales, and to be more inclusive. In Access, Education, and Training, Category B, Priorities 1 and 2 were combined. Priority 3 was updated to directly target water conservation. Priorities 6 through 8 were combined and edited to focus on assisting specialty crop farmers in adapting to the ongoing impacts of COVID-19. Priority 5 was added to align the conservation therein with the NASDA 2023 Farm Bill priorities. Lastly, Priority 7 was added, which will focus on outreach to increase the safety and security of the specialty crop food system. In Research Category B, language was also updated to better align with the language used in NASDA priorities surrounding invasive species, and Priority 3 was updated to specifically include invasive plant and pest species, and a new priority was added. This slide lists the funding areas and categories for the 2023 Scpgp. Proposals submitted must have selected a funding category and address at least one of the program priorities listed under the selected funding category. The next few slides will provide a brief overview of each funding category. More details, including a full description of your assigned funding area and category and associated program priorities, can be found in the Request for Concept Proposals or RFCP. Within the Market Enhancement Funding area, there is only one funding category, Category A, which is titled Grown in California. Proposals submitted to this category should enhance the marketability and long-term competitiveness of specialty crops by leveraging the unique qualities of specialty crops grown in California. In other words, they should highlight the unique qualities and characteristics of specialty crops because they are grown in California. It is important to mention that Outcome Measure 1, Indicator 1.5, must be selected for all concept proposals submitted under the Grown in California funding category. In addition, all marketing and promotion projects must also select Outcome Measure 1, Indicator 1.5, regardless of the funding category the proposal is submitted under. Only one sub-indicator must be selected. Access, Education, and Training Category A is titled Healthy Specialty Crops for All Californians. Proposals submitted in this category should improve access to and consumption of specialty crops in underserved communities and/or improve the public's knowledge and understanding of specialty crop agriculture and its beneficial importance to the health and well-being of all Californians. Funding Category B, Access, Education, and Training, is now titled Equity, Opportunity, and Education for All California Specialty Crop Farmers. Proposals submitted to this funding category should benefit current and future specialty crop farmers by providing education and training, including improving equity through culturally appropriate education and training for socially disadvantaged farmers in areas including business development and regulatory compliance. In the research funding area, Category A is titled Environmental Stewardship, Conservation, and Climate Smart Agriculture. Proposals submitted to this category should address specialty crop agriculture's potential to mitigate and/or adapt to climate change, contribute to conservation of agricultural land and water, and/or enhance soil health. Research Category B is titled Plant Health and Pest Management. Proposals submitted to this funding category should address pests, invasive species, and diseases that affect the production of California's specialty crops. Applicants to the Additional Assistance Program completed the same questionnaire as all other funding areas. Concept proposals selected for advancement under this program will receive assistance from CDFA to develop a full proposal for submission to USDA. Category A is Improving Specialty Crop Nutrition Education and Access for All Californians. Proposals submitted to this category should improve the public's knowledge and understanding of specialty crop agriculture and its beneficial importance to the health and well-being of all Californians, and/or improve access to and consumption of specialty crops in underserved communities. These projects will be reviewed by Technical Review Committee members in the Healthy Specialty Crops for All Californians funding category. Category B is titled Supporting Beginning and Socially Disadvantaged Specialty Crop Farmers. Proposals submitted to this funding category should benefit beginning and/or socially disadvantaged specialty crop farmers through education and training, and increased socially disadvantaged farmer engagement with the agricultural industry. These projects will be reviewed by Technical Review Committee members in the Equity, Opportunity, and Education for All California Specialty Crop Farmers funding category. Note the categories were switched this year so that the categories align between Additional Assistance and Category 2, Access, Education, and Training, A with A and B with B. The Scpgp solicitation and review process occurs in two phases: the concept proposal phase and the grant proposal phase. In phase 1, the concept proposal phase, the submitted concept proposals will be assigned to technical reviewers to review and score. The TRC will meet virtually to discuss the concept proposals in greater detail with other committee members in their assigned funding category. CDFA then consolidates all scores and feedback to determine which proposals will be invited back to the grant proposal phase. In phase 2, The grant proposal phase, TRC members complete the same review and scoring process for the assigned grant proposals. There will be a second virtual meeting where the TRC will have the opportunity to discuss the grant proposals. CDFA will then make recommendations to the U.S. Department of Agriculture or USDA to determine which projects receive funding. These are the number of concept proposals received for each category for 2023. The Additional Assistance Program project will be reviewed with healthy specialty crops for all Californians. Here are the key dates in the review process. We encourage you to make note of them. And again, we'll share this PowerPoint with you. The meeting to discuss the concept proposals will be conducted using Zoom. Please ensure that you are able to access the meeting via the internet that day. The concept proposal meetings for the different funding categories will occur between November 8th and November 15th, with each funding category meeting once within the date range. A calendar invitation will be sent to you with the meeting information and link. These are the dates for the individual category review sessions. Please make plans to attend the meeting for your category, as your attendance is vital to the review process. In order to review the proposals, each funding category or subcommittee will be broken into smaller teams within the subcommittee. Given the amount of concept proposals received for each funding category this year, each subcommittee will be divided into 2 to 4 teams with 2 to 4 members per team and approximately 9 to 11 concept proposals assigned to each team for review. This year, CDFA has a new online submission platform called Amplifund. All applications were submitted electronically using Amplifund, and Amplifund is where your technical reviews will be conducted. The last presentation in today's webinar will provide an overview of how to access, review, and score your assigned concept proposals using this new system. The review process for both phases consists of each technical reviewer conducting an individual review, including scoring and providing comments for their assigned proposals within the allotted time frame. Please note that comments should be constructive. There is no need to write comments such as section complete or work plan is good or similar comments. CDFA averages the scores to determine a final team score for each proposal. The technical review subcommittees will meet to discuss the proposals in their funding category in greater detail, decide as a team if the average score should be changed or remain the same, and finalize comments for both the applicant and CDFA. In the concept proposal phase, the individual reviews and scores will need to be completed between October 12th and November 3rd. There are 8 sections, one of which is unscored. The remaining 7 scored sections total to 50 points. It can be understood that a score of 50 notes a perfect proposal with no room for any improvement, that a score above 40 represents an excellent concept proposal, and that a score below 20 denotes a poor concept proposal with little likelihood either of success and/or of benefiting the specialty crop industry. CDFA will then consolidate the reviews and determine the mean score for each proposal. As mentioned, the meetings for subcommittees to review and discuss their assigned proposals to decide the final scores and comments will be held virtually between November 8th and 15th. Because scores are adjusted during this meeting and feedback is refined, do please plan to attend. The grant proposal phase will be conducted the same way as the concept proposal phase, though the scoring is out of 100 points in round 2. The review process will end with a public meeting on March 30th, 2023, in which one TRC member from each funding category or subcommittee will formally submit a list of grant proposals to CDFA for consideration. CDFA will then submit final recommendations to the USDA in May 2023 for the USDA's final determination on which projects receive funding. There are 8 sections of the concept proposal application that TRC members will use to evaluate and score the 2023 Scbgp concept proposals. Note that Section 3 is the section that is unscored, and Sections 6 and 8, outcome measures and budget, will be formatted differently this year than in past grant cycles. This will be covered in more detail during the Amplifund section of today's presentation. Within the review scoring section in Amplifund, guidelines, questions, and scoring criteria have been provided for each section to assist with your evaluations. Scoring for each individual section of the proposal should be considered in the context of the proposal as a whole, taking all relevant factors into consideration, including how well the applicant answered the question. Most importantly, each proposal should be evaluated individually, and the scoring for each proposal should be based on the proposal's own merits and attributes. As mentioned, there are no longer attachments to the proposal in the Amplifund system. Here is what the outcome measure section now looks like. All applicants are required to select at least one outcome measure and one associated indicator and/or sub-indicator. As a reminder, all chosen outcome measures, indicators, and sub-indicators, if applicable, must be achievable within the grant duration. Please clearly state if you do not believe at least one outcome measure can be achieved within the grant duration, and provide suggestions for how the applicant can modify their project or outcome measure choice in order to meet this criteria. This is some of the most vital feedback you can provide. We have asked applicants, should they select an outcome in error, to simply mark NA or something similar in the data collection methods. So if you see that, you can disregard that individual outcome and focus only on the ones where they select indicators and provide answers. And this is what the budget section looks like now. When reviewing the budget, please keep in mind that all budget items included should support enhancing the competitiveness of specialty crops and correlate to the goals of the project. Remember, the concept proposal budget does not require a high level of detail in Phase 1. Also, there has been some confusion in the past. Please note that requested costs are for the entire length of the project. For example, salaries requested would represent up to 2 years and 8 months of salary costs, not the annual salary of the personnel in question. Lastly, we want to emphasize how critical the comments each reviewer provides in the overall review comments section at the end of each review are to the review process. These comments make up the feedback provided to the applicant, which will assist them in improving the proposal in the grant phase, or if they are not selected for the grant phase, assist them in developing future proposal applications. We specifically ask that comments do not include a summary of the proposal or simply state that the proposal is complete, good, poor, or similar. We are unable to use these type of comments, and they will not be included in the feedback given to applicants. Feedback should be professional and constructive. It should also be specific, actionable, and support the individual score provided for the concept proposal. At a minimum, comments should address each area of the proposal where the score falls below average, provide constructive and actionable feedback to improve areas of the proposal where the score falls below average, and provide suggestions for how the overall proposal could be improved. We hope that you feel free to contact us with any questions you may have about your participation as a technical reviewer in the Scbgp. CDFA staff are available Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and can be reached by phone or the email address provided. If you have a question or issue using Amplifund, please email us with Amplifund issue in the subject line, and we will forward the question and get you a solution as soon as possible. In addition, here are links to the Scbgp website and TRC portal, which has more information about the program, links to documents that will assist you with your reviews, including the 2023 Request for Concept Proposals, and other information.